So, Philando Castile happened in the same frame as Alton Sterling, and there was already a buildup of the Black Lives Matter movement here in Dallas and around the country. And so I have never been to a march quite like that one, where I saw there was a despair in the eyes of black mothers at that march that I had not seen before.
Right.
And it hurt.
Yeah.
And so we marched, we spoke, we marched, there was a lot of anger, and it was raw emotion. Now, when we finished that march and we were walking away, people tend to forget that, and it's intentionally framed that the shooter was from, sort of from the protest, and almost as if he took it, he got in the mood of the protest and decided, let me go ahead and shoot a few cops.
Wrong.
He was planning this before the protest,
Right.
and in fact waited until the conclusion of the protest, and then started to target the cops. Now, when the shooting happened, we thought we were being targeted.
Right.
Bullets are raining down. Everyone's hitting the ground.
Right.
We can't tell who was shot and who wasn't.
Right.
I mean, bullets are raining down just all over. It seems like you would think that there were 7 people shooting at the time, right? I mean, that's how it felt, at least in the moment. So, I at that moment thought that I was about to be killed. It's my first time running away from bullets in that sense. And so we're running, and I see Reverend Waters, Michael, and he looks for Ulysses, his wife, and a bunch of us jump in a car and we go to his church that night. First, we actually went to the Omni, where I understand the shooter went at some point too. So we tried to collect people in the Omni in a ballroom, and then eventually we ended up at his church, at Joy Tabernacle.
Right.
And it was extremely emotional. We prayed. We cried. We then had to put together, that's when we start reaching out to everyone to see what we're doing. And, as it started to become known that this was a man that targeted the police officers and that this is what was happening.
Right.
Immediately, we just went from running away from a shooting, and we're planning a vigil and planning the press conference, the vigil in Thanksgiving Square for just a few hours later.
Wow. Amazing.
And so, that whole time is really a blur, but I did, I think that we got closer as a result of that. And when President Obama and then President Bush and Vice President Biden and Nancy Pelosi and Ted Cruz and John Cornyn, it was all this coming together, and it was like, what's happening here? A lot of people don't know that service that took place where the presidents attended, I was invited to pray. I mean, we were just told it was just a service for the fallen. Right. And I think it was then I got the program and I saw President Bush's name and President Obama's, and I'm like, what's happening here, right? So it was an interesting turn of events, and I definitely think that put Faith Forward Dallas literally front and center.
Yes. And
a lot of people then came to know us that way. Muslim ban happened, and more terrorist attacks happened, and more mass shootings, and Parkland happened. It's nonstop. Jordan Edwards happened. When Jordan Edwards was killed, that was, it was like taking your own child. It felt like my own child had been killed. I mean, seeing in Jordan's dad and Jordan's father, Odell, the way I look at my children, and knowing, just seeing what that family went through, that it was like a piece of us was ripped away in just the
and I think, we should stop at least and say the police officer that killed him was convicted of murder, and that is, a helpful act of justice. It's something we often did not see take place in these cases, but he was simply a kid in a car.
Yeah.
He was doing nothing.
And he, the officer was given 15 years.
Well,
so
true.
Taking 50, it's better than what would happen before.
Right.
I mean, it was a positive.
But nonetheless, it was a minimum sentence.
Oh yeah,
I'd say.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Botham John happens.
Yes.